Hi, brothers and sisters. My name is David Schillen. I was baptized in 96. I've been staying awake. I've been on virtual video, because of not having transportation and stuff and being poor and stuff. I wanted to tell you about being awake. Jesus said, stay awake in his last days prophecy in Matthew chapter 24. But in that same chapter later on, what he wants us to be awake to is not just wars and reports of wars. He also mentioned that the faithful, discreet slave class will turn on you and me. They turn on us. They turn against Jehovah. They would stop doing Jehovah's will and allow Satan to get control of the organization. This has already happened, brothers. They've already told our pioneers to stop doing their normal pioneer work and decrease your hours. They commanded the pioneers to slow down. They've also ended an entire territory of preaching called social media. That goes against Jesus' command at chapter 28 in Matthew. Go therefore, make disciples of all the people, baptizing them, teaching them all the things that I have taught you in every nation, tribe, and tongue. In other words, nation, tribe, and tongue, it means everywhere. Preach the good news of the kingdom everywhere. Everywhere. As the former governing body said, seek out ways. Seek out new places to preach the good news of the kingdom. But the present governing body says, not on social media, not with our copyrighted material. See, they started beating on their slaves. They're beating us now. They're making commands against Jehovah's will now. This is against Jehovah's will. It's the end days. We're getting closer to the end. And they're telling our pioneers to slow down in their service. No longer do you have the requirements of reaching this many hours. Now you could slow down, pioneers. See, Jesus called this a change from the faithful, deceit slave class to the evil, wicked slave that beats the domestics. Those domestics are the ones Jesus said, or Jehovah said in Revelation, these are the ones, the great crowd, these are the ones that follow the Lamb wherever he goes. Now, these are the ones who follow the governing body wherever they go. See, Jesus, in his last days prophecy, in verse 44 plus, he talks about the faithful, deceit slave class ending the relationship with Jehovah and becoming a wicked, evil slave class. You think they have a relationship with Jehovah and they're ending an entire territory of Jehovah. Going against Matthew chapter 28, where Jesus commanded the good news be preached in all the earth, including social media, especially social media, because that's where the people are. Jesus wanted us to go to where the people are. Did he not? Bring this message to people. Wherever they might be. Wherever they might be. Wherever they might be. Understand it. That's Jehovah's will. That all sorts of people may be saved. What about the sort of people that like social media? Or they can't be saved? Says who? The evil slave has eliminated the territory of Jehovah. He has slowed down the pioneers. He has commanded us not to use Jehovah's name in our prayers. He has said that Jehovah will not listen to our prayers if we're using the word Jehovah in our prayers. Jehovah, 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 please come down and help us. We can't say that, said the faithful deceased slave class. Why? Because they're no longer the faithful deceased slave class. They've taken the role that Jesus prophesied in his last days prophecy about the slave class turning wicked, turning into an evil slave class. Jesus would not have included talking about them being evil or becoming evil if it was not to occur or it wasn't to happen. It's happened, brothers. Come on, you got to expect them to become evil because Jesus said the faithful slave class would become evil. He said it. Believe Jesus. Don't believe them. They become evil now. They're going against Jehovah's will of reaching all the people with the good news of the kingdom. They're slowing down the preaching work. You don't see that? Are you awake? Remember one of the first things Jesus said in his prophecy. Keep awake. Stay awake. Jesus said, be cautious as serpents. Remember? Are we going to take this and that and this and that and this and this from the last days prophecy and not accept that the faithful deceased slave class will turn evil? We're not going to accept that part of his prophecy. That's a part of his prophecy. That's a part of Jesus' last day prophecy that the faithful discreet slave class will become evil, beaten on the domestics. Jesus said this, not David Schilling. Jesus said that. Let me repeat it. Jesus said that. Do you believe it? You're not going to be following me into apostasy if you believe what Jesus said. Believe what Jesus said. You're not an apostate. You're not an apostate if you defy the evil slave class when they become evil. When the faithful discreet slave class becomes the evil non-discreet slave class, are you evil? Are you an apostate if you stop following them? No, you're not. You follow them up to the point where they become wicked and tell us to slow down. When they tell us not to use Jehovah's name, use Jehovah's name more. If they tell us Jehovah's name is not Jehovah anymore, or they're trying to throw doubt into our mind, if the slave starts doing that to us, this is a part of the beating. Jesus said they're going to beat us. They're going to start beating us. They've already beaten us with copyright laws, going against their own people, dragging their own people to court, enforcing their copyright laws on you and me as if we're criminals. They're beating on us. See it. Open your eyes. Jesus said, stay awake. Are you awake, brothers and sisters? Are you? Are you sleeping? You're fully awake to the wars and the pestilence and the earthquakes, but you're sleeping when it comes to the faithful deceased slave class becoming evil? You don't believe that part of Jesus' prophecy? Only the parts that you want to believe, right? That's what you and I always say about false religion. They take what they want, believe what they want of the Bible. Are we doing the same thing? We gotta believe, we have to believe Jesus' prophecy about the faithful slave class becoming evil. Why? Because Jesus said it. And what's another reason? That we don't want to be hypocrites who told other people, you take this part of the Bible, but you don't believe that part of the Bible. Are we doing the same thing? Are you doing the same thing? You're a hypocrite. A hypocrite if you don't believe the rest of the Bible. You're going to take what parts of the Bible you want to believe and just believe those and not the faithful slave becoming evil? Jesus prophesied that in the last days, the faithful slave class would become an evil slave. Remember? But what to do about it? We should have the same attitude the apostles had. Whether it's righteous or not, to follow men rather than God. Judge for yourself. Judge for yourself. Did not Jehovah say about you and me that we follow the Lamb wherever the Lamb goes and not where men go? Not where men go. Because men will be corrupted. Men can be threatened, scared. That I don't know what has happened to our faithful slave class, but they're changing. They're changing. They made the entire convention an in-person only convention. So that I couldn't go to the convention because I don't have a car. I'm too poor to buy a car. Plus I'm on virtual. I attend meetings virtually. And not one person told me when our convention was. I had to find out the hard way. I zoomed into my meeting on Sunday and there was no meeting. It wasn't connecting to the meeting for like an hour. What's going on here? How come there's no meeting? And then I went to jw.org and I found out that my area in Philadelphia here was at a convention. And so I tried to tune into the convention through a link or watch it on jw.org like I did a couple years ago. I watched it entirely Friday, Saturday, Sunday on jw.org. But jw.org refused to help you and me. If we were not able to attend, we have spiritual loss, right? So they're trying to harm people that don't have transportation. They're beating the slaves. I'm telling you, they're doing this. Pay attention. Stay awake. Jesus commanded in the last days, the people of the last days, to stay awake. Are you awake to what's going on? Are you awake to the entire prophecy or just Matthew chapter 24:14? This good news of the kingdom will be preached in all the inhabited earth for witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. Okay, how is the good news going to be preached? Not on social media, said the wicked slave. See, they're cooperating with Satan because Satan wants the people on social media to lose their lives. He wants millions of people to lose their life. Millions of people that are not answering their door because they're on their phone. They're on social media. That's where the people are. They're not answering the door anymore. They're on social media. And Satan knows that. Satan doesn't want them contacted. Satan doesn't want us, those people, to see the literature. Satan doesn't want them to learn the truth, get baptized, and become a preacher and save their lives. Satan's against saving lives on social media, so that's the source. That has to be the source behind the new governing body's orders to get off of social media. That's what they have against social media, right there. Satan's got into their heads and into their hearts. They become the evil slave. They're becoming evil. Losing millions of people's lives. People's lives are in the balance here, brothers and sisters. This is no joke. I'm not joking here. I'm not joking. Millions of people may not live in paradise with you and me because we're not allowed to preach on social media anymore. But who's telling you that? Men are telling you that. Men, not the lamb. Not the lamb. It's not the lamb giving the order to stop preaching on social media. It's that wicked slave class threatening you to enforce copyright laws against you and me if we put our literature. It's not even our literature anymore. They're saying it belongs exclusively to the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. Brothers and sisters, we got to start writing our own music now. Get instruments, make our own music to Jehovah, put our own music on social media, put our own literature on social media. We got to become writers and start writing books and stuff and releasing books about Jehovah's Witnesses' teachings. And of course, Jehovah's Witnesses is going to say, oh, that teaching belongs to the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. No, it doesn't. How could a teaching from Jehovah God and Jesus from the Bible belong to the Watchtower? It doesn't belong to them. Our religion does not belong to the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. Our faith, our belief is not in the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. Our belief is in Jehovah God and Jesus Christ as the Lamb, which all the great crowd shall follow. They're no longer the faithful deceased slave class. They're rejected now. They must be rejected if they're starting to beat the slaves. If they're starting to beat the slave class, us, you and me, the domestics, enforcing copyright against us, then they must be now fulfilling that scripture in Matthew chapter 24, where Jesus called them the evil slave, beating on the domestics. See, this is now, brothers. This is happening now. This has not been happening throughout the years. The former Jehovah's Witness organization, governing body, warned us of signs that the governing body has been taken over. One of them was that they would try to create superstition about using the name Jehovah. They would attack Jehovah's name. Second of all, they would attack yours and my relationship with Jehovah God, our prayers, and they've already given that talk. They've given that talk that not to use Jehovah's name in our prayers. They've already given that talk. That was a worldwide talk. It went to my congregation near Mount Ephraim, Canada. Yes, I heard that talk. Stop saying Jehovah in your prayers. You can't do that. He's not going to hear you. So if I say, Jehovah, God help us, please. He doesn't hear that? Come on. That's a lie. That's an outright lie. That's a lie from Satan that you and me, our prayers are not heard any longer, that Jehovah doesn't want us to use his name in prayers. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a vicious attack on you and me by the wicked slave. They're a wicked slave now. What can we do? We can keep following Matthew chapter 28. Go make disciples of people of every tribe, tongue, and everywhere. Keep on preaching the good news of the kingdom. We can keep doing what we're doing. He told Thyatira, I think it was, keep what you already have. So that's for you and me. We can keep what we have. Keep serving Jehovah with what we have. Never stop. Don't slow down, you pioneers. Don't obey their new hours of service. Don't obey that. Go beyond it. Do the former things. Yeah, that's a thing he said about this other congregation, that they slowed down. Jesus was upset that they slowed down. And Jesus told them to repent, turn around and do the former things. The former things. Jesus was mad that they slowed down in their service toward him. So if the faithful slave class tells you, pioneers, slow down, you're no longer required to do this many hours. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. Read about the 7 congregations there. Jesus was really, truly upset with one of the congregations, and because their deeds of lately did not reach their former deeds. So Jesus said, do the former deeds. So don't you go slowing down, you pioneers, and so Jesus will tell you, why did you slow down? I didn't tell you to slow down. Jesus is going to say to you, I didn't tell you to slow down. Why are you obeying the wicked slave? Why are you obeying men and slowing down? The end is coming. The end is closer. Why are you slowing down if the end is drawing near? Why? This must be Satan behind slowing down our taking territory from Jehovah's Witnesses, slowing down our pioneers. This has to be Satan. Satan has gained a foothold inside of our organization, and brothers must rise up and correct the situation. Brothers in Warwick, rise up against the wicked slave. They're wicked now. They're wicked now. They're beating us. Come to our aid. Revive the governing body. Put new members in. Put faithful members in. And not people going against Jehovah's will. They're going against Jehovah's will. They're going against Jehovah's will. They're slowing down the preaching work. They're slowly boiling us in hot water. See, if we accept the warm, subtle waters that they're putting in front of us, and they're going to turn up the heat, and they're going to start increasing their attacks on Jehovah's name, and on our prayers, and on our study habits, and on meeting attendance. Oh, you don't have to attend meetings, they're going to say. You can go on a vacation, they might start saying. Don't believe it. Don't believe that. These people must be removed from their seat of power.